What's up, guys? Movie buff. I just got out of an early screening of Good Boys. And if you haven't seen the trailer for this, it's a Seth Rogen made film. And it's basically what the breakdown of this movie is it's a younger Superbad. Okay? You've got your three friends, you've got your coming of age story, and they all have their different personalities. But that's what this movie is. So if you like Superbad, you like coming of age stories, you like the Stranger Things, like the younger kids growing up kind of shit, this is going to be right up your alley. I will say that this movie is hella funny. I mean, I was laughing beginning to end. And I have not seen a good comedy that held up in a long time. Girls Trip was probably the last one I seen that I was like laughing out loud. That's sad. There's a lot of comedies that's come and went. This movie is fucking hilarious, okay? These kids kill it. I don't know none of these kids. Like I said, this is an early screening. I've seen some of these kids in very other little things here and there. There's no really big names in this movie at all. And that's what makes it great, because all this is new talent coming. And these kids have got a future. Every one of these kids has got a future. Basically, you've got these three friends. They're going into 6th grade. They've never really been popular. They have their own little clique, and they call each other the Beanbag Boys because they have beanbags, and they have this little fort in one of their buddies' houses. So, and they all live close together. They're friends, or their mom's friends are friends, so they're all friends. You know, it makes sense. Like when you were little, you have, you know, the kids you were in kindergarten, you just kind of stayed friends with as you got older. And so they all have their own little personalities. So this guy right here, the one in the blue hoodie, he's kind of the skinny kid. He's like the cool kid. He's like the cool kid of the group. He's got the suaveness, the swag about him, but he's also hasn't grown into himself. So he's kind of hitting puberty early before all his friends. And then you've got the little black kid with the fro right here. And he's kind of like the sensitive one. He's kind of like the rational one, like, follow the rules, do what's right, you know, don't go crazy. And then you've got the little badass, well, the one with the spiked hair, who's always getting him into shit, who goes over and above and tries too hard, and even though he's cool the way he is, he wants to try to be something else to impress other people. So basically, they're starting a new school year, and they're trying to get to this party because this cool little kid, he's like this little suave ass little Asian kid and stuff, and he's part of the cool clique. And he asks the little kid that's, you know, the cool kid, and he's like, hey, you know, why don't you come to a party? And he's, the way their interaction with each other is just priceless. I mean, as he's leaving, he's like, cool dog. And he's like, cool dog, see you dog, see you dogs. I mean, they're trying to be older than they are, and it's fucking priceless. And every one of us has had these moments when we're growing up where shit's just, we're figuring shit out, and we just don't know quite how to do things yet. And, you know, everything is still just kind of new. And it harkens back to all those awkward times that everyone's had before, but in such a way where they deliver it in such a funny way and in a new, inspiring way that, man, it just had me rolling. I took my buddy with me, and we got screening passes and stuff, so it was so fun. Like when we got there early because it's like your screening is not a ticket. So we were like, fuck, we need to get there early. So we stopped for snacks and shit. And the guy's like, we're sold out. You know, you can't go. So I immediately just start pulling shit out of my ass. I'm like, but no, we got people in there that's holding our seats. I'm a Diamond member, blah, blah, blah. I just start fucking going. He's like, oh, okay, you know, if you got people saving your seats. We didn't have no one saving our seats. So we went in there, and this fucking theater's packed. It's like 45 minutes before the movie starts. And we're like, fuck. So we're looking, and in my head, I'm telling him, I'm like, bro, every theater has, handicapable seats, have handicap seats that no one takes. They were fucking taken. So I was like, fuck, my plan's fucked. And then I've seen 2 seats, like kind of like way up, almost at the top, like in the middle. And I was like, fuck, man, that would be perfect. So we went up there. One was taken, one was saved. And then above us, there was one, and I was like, do you want to just set apart? I mean, we're already here. This is an early screening. Like, we're not going to get to do this again and shit. We already in the mood to see the movie. We already snacks fucking packed away and shit. I was about to fucking break open my Red Bull and shit. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'll set up here. He's cool. He's not a big drama fiend or whatever. And this girl was like, would you want me to move? And he can sit here. I was like, if you would do that, that would be awesome. I would really appreciate that. Fucking money. Got to sit together. So he goes to get the snacks. We pop on this shit. And like I said, immediately just funny going. Like, it just sets off the movie of what you're expecting. And a lot of times I'll give movies like the first couple, like maybe the first 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, okay, I'm in. I was in as soon as this movie started, and I didn't get out until it ended. But basically, like I said, they get invited to this party. He wants to kiss this girl. He thinks like this is the be-all, end-all. He's in love with this girl. This is going to be his wife. And his friends, they haven't hit puberty lately. They're still playing like, Dungeons and Dragons and shit. But this is their buddy, and they're the Beanbag Boys, so they're going to go along. And basically, they're trying to figure out how to kiss. And, they're doing all these things. They go online and shit. And if you've seen the previews, I mean, it gives a little bit away. But they're doing all this crazy shit. And you can imagine when a sixth grader puts in porn online, like, what's going to unfold. But anyways, they know they have this neighbor girl, and she's got a boyfriend. So they have this drone that they're not supposed to take out. But they were like, if we take off that drone, we can fucking see them kiss. We'll know how to kiss. So they do that. Well, these girls are over there, and the girl actually breaks up with her boyfriend, and she catches the drone, which you see all this on previews and shit. And so, as you can see right here, they're like dumping out her purse and shit because they keep their drone. So they go over there and try to get their drone back. And these girls are like, no, we're not going to give you your drone. That's what you get for disrespecting women, blah, blah. Well, the little badass kid steals a purse. Well, the purse has Molly in it that the girls were going to take. And they're about to go to this like concert or something. So they're going to try to make a deal, right? Get the purse back for the drone. And that's what the whole thing is, because if he doesn't get this drone back, he's not even supposed to have this drone. This dad is like, he uses it for work or whatever, aerial fucking photography or something. This kid's not supposed to have this drone, so he's got to get this drone back. Otherwise, he's going to be grounded. He can't go to the party, and then he can't kiss this girl, and his life is over. So then that's when shit really gets real. That's when it takes that super bad twist, and they just have this fucking adventure that is just full of just hilarious fucking antics. I mean, they run into a cop, and they have these sex toys that they think are weapons. They're trying to sell this fucking card online, and this guy comes, and he's like, he was on an HBO show. The dude is just hilariously looking, but he's like, do I look like a pedophile to you? And he's like, you look more like a pedophile than anyone I've ever met. And it's just hilarious because the shit that they get into was priceless, guys. So, long story short, I don't want to ruin a bunch of this movie for you because it is an early screening and I really don't even know how much I'm allowed to say, but fuck it. I'm not really ruining any plot ideas or anything. I didn't sign a fucking, secret paper or nothing. So definitely check this movie out when it comes out in theaters because it is worth it. It is 100% worth it. I mean, I give it a 9.5, man. I was laughing the entire time. These kids are Stranger Things level fucking talented. We're going to be seeing a lot from all these kids. Like I said, the hilarious antics and the adventure that they go on to end the way it happens and everything unfolds the way it does is primo. It's money. It's Gucci. I loved it. Definitely check it out. Until next time, guys, we will see you at the movie.